Okay, welcome to Serial for May 2025. And this month we'll directly start with two pictures that are a little bit outside of the rest of the works for this month. The one on the left, that's film. It's an expired film from, I really don't know how long ago, but it's more than 20 years in my opinion. It's a film named Extra. It's 200 ISO. I didn't have a date on it, so I sort of let's go with it and expose it 200 ISO. But it's definitely more than 20 years old from what we see here. And I should have maybe exposed it. There's this rule, like you double the exposure every 10 years of expiredness. So that would have been enough 50 ISO at least. But anyhow, I like those characteristics of underexposed and not sensitive enough film. And I actually liked the result. And that was my friend was standing and taking a picture of that tree that was trying to scare her. I kind of liked the picture that came out. And the camera was a Leica C2 Zoom. It's a weird camera from Leica, very bulky point and shoot with a zoom, which has an auto function. It tends to zoom in by itself. It's very annoying sometimes, but you can override it. But still, I'm trying to understand how this thing works. And I've already done a few films, and I kind of like the lens and the experience because it's weird. But more on this in a future episode. And on the right, that's the great, talented musician and experimental artist Tom Manuri in a place in Reykjavik which does experimental music. It's also a record store that's named Space Odyssey in the middle of Reykjavik. And that was a great concert. Took that picture with my TT Artisan 35mm f5.6, this really compact lens, fixed aperture, on the SL2. And I thought that was a cool picture. Otherwise, most of the months, this month is going to be photos from Manchester because I was very pleasured to be able to join the Leica Switzerland Academy. The Geneva side organized a visit of the Ilford Harman Factory in Manchester. So it was the occasion for me to join them coming from Reykjavik a few months after I had already been in Manchester. And also joined the group. Kieran Bird was doing a street photography workshop, so I joined them and had a great time with all of them. Kieran's fantastic. The whole team was great. That's photos from a mall, a sort of a alternative mall in the center of the city, where you have a lot of independent artists, cafes, tattoo artists, resellers. And if you're nice and in phase with the people and your environment, you can take some really cool pictures there. Here, that was one of the secondhand sellers. I really liked the looks of his objects. Here it's, again, I forgot to say, it's the SL2 with the 50mm Summarit M f1.5. It's this old construction, old optical formula. I'll probably do a video about it soon. I've been using it for years, and people have requested, but I'm taking time. I like that lens because it really has all the flaws of the old time. It diffuses, but it's very detailed in the center, but it's got its old character. And here was the tenant of the place, fantastic guy, originally I think from Chicago, musician, artist, and really fun guy. And here on the right you see Kieran, very talented, also very good photographer. Go check his photo works, and also very, very friendly and very talented at getting in touch with people. I think that's also a point. I don't show that much street photography and things like that on those channels, but it's usually a great way to meet people, to discover other things, other horizons and points of view. Here's same equipment. I'm keeping it for a while. Manchester by night. The weather was way better than last time, a few months back when it was really cold. You've seen probably the photos. But that was the occasion to test this old lens in a different situation. I really like it by night because it tends to, like on those two pictures, make those ghost images. Diffuses a lot, but still is very open, so you can really have an interesting approach to night photography. And by day, this lens really will have some glow in the high contrast zones like you see on the left. That's the lens, same equipment, one of those streets of Manchester. So yeah, great lens to do that. But also here on the right, I was using the Chroma double glass f11. Knowing that the group was doing street photography, that was a great occasion to use a focus-free, fixed focus, relatively closed with a big focal distance, focal rand hyperfocal distance. And it's a great way. It's 24 millimeter. It's a UK-made lens. I have a video that I've made on it, a review a few years back. So if you want to go check it out, I go more into the details. But it's great for street photography because you basically have to focus on pointing and shooting. Here, that's what you get with it. It's definitely not the really super defined lens in the periphery. It's made for central focusing. I don't know how to say, to when you want pictures like this one, like it blurs a little bit in the periphery, but it's like a cap lens, so it's really very, very thin, and it's great. It's got great characteristics in my opinion. And yeah, here that I just showed this example because when you have this kind of lens in 24 millimeters, this guy on the bottom part was trying to get out of my field of view. Very funny guy, super cool. Yeah, think about out of the box. The picture before was the one I was looking for, but actually I kind of preferred this one. It happened. I just switched down, tried to have a good composition and took the picture, and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, improvise when you do street photography. It's all about that. Here again, same equipment, this 24 millimeter f11. Pretty good for basic streets and urban environments, even if there's no one inside. But yeah, here, details of streets in Manchester. I think it's a fun lens to capture those kind of ambiances. And also, when you have a 24 millimeter, here, the photo on the right, we were happy. Here were a few photographers to have those great persons standing in this kebab place, pizza place. They were super friendly and okay with us taking pictures. So trying to get a feel of the place, try to go around things, try to have different points of view if you want to tell stories. And a lens like this, it's nice because you really have to get close to your subjects to get something. So you have to get in contact in one way or another. You can, of course, be discreet too, but you have to be for me, it's more about the respect of your environment. And anyhow, there's different methods for street photography, but I don't do that much. But that was a really cool occasion. The weather was great. The people were fantastic. Here again, 2 pictures in that northern central neighborhood of Manchester. And as I said, it's always the occasion to meet people. So here was an influencer, podcaster, TikToker. We talked with him a little bit. He was going around doing a little bit of the same thing as us, but differently, obviously, with his phone. Yeah, great. Taking pictures of people is sometimes really interesting too, and you should try once in a while. Again, when you have those 2 pictures, it's not the same lens. The one on the left, that's still the 24 millimeters, but I wanted to give also an example. That's why I actually like high megapixel cameras, because sometimes they can crop in, and the picture on the left that's heavily cropped, I'm probably left with like 12 megapixels. I really cut into it to get that picture. I'm not sure it's a great picture. I do like it. So that's my goal in that picture. That just to show that having those higher pixel counts sometimes can be useful. And even with the 24 millimeter f11 like here, I can get something really interesting in my own opinion. And I was at the same place, but I changed lenses. I went to the 90 millimeter f2.8. So that's also something, don't hesitate to switch from a very different kind of lens once in a while. That's an Elmarit, Leica Elmarit 90 millimeter f2.8. It's a really old lens. It's kind of cheap if you're interested in secondhand. It's very interesting in the rendering, and you get really something very different. And as I said, it's really the same moment of the day. You see how the optics, and I'm slightly moving around, but how things can be really changed depending on the lens you have. Here I'm continuing with the Elmarit 90mm f2.8. As you can see, it's a soft lens. very detailed, but very old school construction. It's pretty long actually for what it is. But yeah, I really like that kind of lenses. Mainly the picture on the right, the softness, but at the same time the crispness, the contrast. Yeah, it's something I really like. Here, going back to the Summarit 50mm f1.5, I should do a video about it, I know, but by daylight it's also really cool. As you can see, the sort of glow in the high contrast for the clouds, it's fantastic. Maybe a little bit too much on the couple below, but it's the character of this lens, and I think it's interesting. But again, by night, I think that's where it shines most. Here's a hotel room and the view from this blurry window. I think you can tell lots of stories just because of the rendering of the lens. It biases the way you're going to tell things. But yeah, going back to the idea of that travel originally was to visit the Ilford Harman factory. So I was able to take a few pictures. I did take film pictures, and I only took it with their films. But for this series, it will be digital. I also had mine. So that's with the Summarit 50mm f1.5. And on the left, that's a small model of the factory. The team was super kind, super nice, friendly, really great visit. Thanks to all the team. And on the right, that's a recycling bin where they recycle the films that come out of the tests and the equipment when they pre-roll and whatnot, because they recycle the silver content also, and of course for ecological reasons. But yeah, the factory was fantastic. Really loved those machinery. It's high precision machinery. It looks sturdy. It looks great. Looks super optimized, and I like actually the old school look of it. And I think we should maybe come back to that kind of looks for modern equipment. Would be fantastic. As you can see, that's for the chemistry of one of the reactors. I don't know if you named them like this, but one of the machines. And on the right, you can see the film pass by. That's the machine that puts them in rolls. One of the machines. Just a fantastic visit. Really nice to see. Here, the picture on the left, you can see all those rolls coming out. If you like film like me, you just want to jump into it and go swim. Anyhow, that's Pan F100 ISO. I've never tried it. I love the Pan F50. Anyways, I'll probably have to try that one of these days. And on the right, that's we're going to continue with Harman Phoenix film. That's in an Alfie Tych camera, half frame, real half frame, not like happened this month that Fuji came out with a half X digital camera that tries to simulate film. Okay, here's an Alfie UK-made camera. I just made a video that came out this month about it. Go and check it. And that's with the Harman film. It's got 4 lenses. You've already seen this scene of Manchester in my previous series with other cameras. Or here, there's 2 color films from Harman Ilford, the red and the Phoenix. I really loved both of them. And I'm experimenting a little bit because it doesn't have an anti-halation layer in the back. So when you load the film, if you expose it a little bit too much, are not very careful, you get those weird lights because it acts like a kind of like a fiber optics thing. It just goes on the images underneath, and I'm experimenting with it. So it's voluntary because I want to try to control it. I'm not sure I'm controlling it, but here you have 2 scenes I've taken before that you've seen with the digital camera, how this Harman Phoenix film reacts. Love the colors. I've already talked about it, and even if it's just experimental exposure or long exposure, that's not something I expected. Again, here I'm in half frame. I'm always with Alfie Tych. Or here, doing this thing I was telling you with the light leak or the light in front. You get really interesting colors with Harman Phoenix film. Those 2 pictures being in Reykjavik. Back to Reykjavik, actually, and this cat with the light leak, or another cat with no light leak. A film that when you expose, like on those 2 images, if you expose it a little bit in better conditions, better in quotes, you will get something kind of old school, but really neutral in color. So it's a film you can work on and have great portraits. You can make great studio photography, for example. But yeah, here's the last 2 pictures for this series. Still the same equipment. I think this film is great that's the Phoenix, is great to experiment with because you really get some weird things. And I'm slowly starting to understand how to control those reactions. I didn't mention I'm pushing the film here to 400 ISO instead of 200, which kind of reinforces the low light weirdness of it, kind of blue-green. And but yeah, anyhow, go for film. Next month, you'll see the other films I did during that travel. There's some Harman Red. There's also some other Phoenix and other things. But anyhow, hopefully that was entertaining. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, as usual, don't hesitate. And yeah, catch you next time.